Hi everyone, welcome back to English Achieve. Today's video is going to change the way you see your life. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing something surprising. Most of the stress, pain, and confusion in your life did not come from the world outside. It came from one simple habit. You kept choosing everyone else, but you forgot to choose yourself. You tried to make people happy. You tried to meet expectations. You tried to avoid disappointing others. And slowly, without even noticing, you placed your own dreams, needs, and happiness at the bottom of the list. Many people live their entire lives this way. They work hard for approval. They sacrifice their peace for acceptance. They silence their voice just to avoid conflict. But deep inside, something feels wrong. Something feels empty. One day, you begin to understand a powerful truth. Your life will never truly change until you learn the courage to choose yourself. Choosing yourself does not mean becoming selfish. It does not mean ignoring others or becoming cold-hearted. Choosing yourself means respecting your own life. It means protecting your energy, honoring your values, and building a life that is true to who you are. The moment you start choosing yourself, something incredible begins to happen. Your confidence grows, your mind becomes clear, your relationships become healthier, and the direction of your life begins to transform. In this lesson, we will explore 13 powerful rules that will help you understand the true power of choosing yourself. If you learn these rules and apply them slowly in your life, you will discover something amazing. The person you have been waiting for, the person who can truly change your life, is you. So stay with me till the end, because today's lesson on choosing yourself could be the turning point you've been waiting for. Rule 1. Accept that your life is your responsibility. One of the most powerful turning points in a person's life happens the moment they stop blaming the world and start taking responsibility for their own path. For many people, this realization does not come quickly. Sometimes it takes years of frustration, disappointment, and confusion before they finally understand this simple truth. It is easy to blame others when things go wrong. People often blame their family for not supporting them enough, their friends for not understanding them, their boss for not giving them opportunities, or their past for holding them back. In many situations, these influences can be real. Our environment, our upbringing, and the people around us can shape our experiences. But while these things may affect the direction of our lives, they do not have the ultimate power to control our future. The moment you decide to choose yourself, you begin by accepting one important truth. This is your life, and you are responsible for what you do with it. No one else will wake up every morning to live your life for you. No one else will carry your dreams, your goals, and your ambitions in their heart the way you can. And no one else will fight your personal battles or overcome your challenges for you. When you truly accept responsibility for your life, something powerful begins to shift inside your mind. Instead of waiting for someone to rescue you or solve your problems, you begin to see yourself as the person who must take action. You stop hoping that circumstances will magically improve, and you start looking for ways to improve yourself. Your thinking changes from blame to growth. At this stage, you begin asking different questions. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you start asking, "What can I learn from this situation?" Instead of saying, "Someone should fix this problem," you begin asking, "What can I do to make this better?" These questions may seem simple, but they have the power to transform your entire mindset. Responsibility gives you control over your direction. When you take responsibility, you also take back the power to change your future. You realize that even small decisions made consistently can create meaningful progress. The moment you truly accept responsibility for your life is the moment you stop seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances. Instead, you begin to see yourself as the writer of your own story. You may not control every event that happens around you, but you always control how you respond and what steps you take next. Choosing yourself begins with this decision. It begins with the courage to say, "This is my life, and I will take responsibility for the direction it goes." Rule 2. Stop seeking constant approval. Many people move through life as if they are standing on a stage, constantly performing for an invisible audience. Every decision they make is quietly influenced by one powerful question: what will people think? This question may seem harmless, but over time it can slowly take control of your life. When you become too focused on the opinions of others, you begin to shape your actions, words, and choices around their expectations instead of your own values. You hesitate to express your real thoughts because you fear disagreement. You hide parts of your personality because you worry they might not be accepted. Sometimes you even choose a career, a lifestyle, or a direction that does not truly belong to you, simply because it seems more acceptable to the people around you. Without realizing it, the fear of judgment quietly steals your freedom. The truth is that the desire for approval is natural. As human beings, we all want to feel accepted and respected by others. However, when this desire becomes too strong, it turns into a trap. Instead of living authentically, you begin living cautiously. You start measuring your worth through the reactions of other people. If they praise you, you feel confident. If they criticize you, you begin to doubt yourself. Over time, this habit creates emotional instability because your sense of value becomes dependent on outside opinions. But there is something important to understand about people's opinions. No matter what you do in life, you will never satisfy everyone. Some people will support your choices, while others will disagree with them. Some will admire your decisions, while others will criticize them. This is simply part of human nature. Opinions change, perspectives differ, and people judge situations based on their own experiences and beliefs. Trying to control how everyone feels about you is impossible. If you spend your life chasing approval from others, you may slowly lose connection with your true self. Your identity becomes shaped by expectations instead of authenticity. Choosing yourself means breaking free from this pattern. It means learning to respect your own voice more than the noise of the crowd. It means understanding that other people's opinions are temporary, but the life you are building is permanent. When you stop seeking constant approval, something remarkable begins to happen. You start making decisions based on your values instead of fear. You begin speaking honestly and expressing yourself more openly. This does not mean ignoring others completely, but it means giving your own perspective the respect it deserves. Over time, this creates a sense of inner stability and confidence. Living honestly may not always please everyone, but it brings something far more valuable: real peace within yourself. Rule 3. Protect your time. Time is one of the most valuable resources a person can have in life. Unlike money, energy, or opportunities, time is something that can never be replaced once it is gone. Every second that passes becomes part of the past, and no power in the world can bring it back. Yet many people treat their time carelessly without realizing its true value. They allow hours, days, and even years to pass without thinking about how those moments are shaping their future. Sometimes they spend long periods in meaningless conversations that add no value to their lives. Other times they stay in environments that constantly drain their energy, where negativity and distractions make it difficult to grow. They may also remain in relationships that create stress, confusion, or emotional exhaustion instead of support and encouragement. Slowly, their time disappears without building the life they truly want. Choosing yourself means developing a deep respect for your time. It means understanding that every hour you live is a small piece of your future being created. The way you spend your time today quietly determines the direction of your life tomorrow. When you begin protecting your time, you become more intentional about how you use it. Instead of allowing distractions to control your schedule, you start making decisions that support your growth and well-being. You begin investing your time in activities that help you learn new ideas, develop useful skills, improve your mindset, and build something meaningful for your future. Protecting your time does not mean that you must work every moment of the day. In fact, rest and recovery are also important parts of a balanced life. When you respect your time, you make room for learning, creativity, improvement, and also for healthy rest that restores your energy. The key difference is that your time is no longer wasted without purpose. Instead, it becomes a tool that helps you move forward step by step. Many people believe that great success comes only from talent or intelligence. While these qualities can help, they are not the most important factors. In reality, many successful people simply learned how to protect and manage their time better than others. They focus on what truly matters and avoid spending too much energy on distractions that do not serve their goals. When you choose yourself, you begin to understand a powerful truth. Your time is your life. Every moment you protect is a moment invested in your future. And a life that is respected and valued begins with respecting the time that builds it. Rule 4. Learn to say no without guilt. Many people struggle with one very small word, yet it carries a powerful meaning. That word is no. It seems simple, but for many individuals it is surprisingly difficult to say. Instead of expressing their true feelings, they often say yes to requests, invitations, and responsibilities even when they feel tired, overwhelmed, or uncomfortable. They agree to things they do not truly want to do. They accept tasks that add stress to their lives. Sometimes they even support decisions they quietly disagree with. Over time, this habit becomes exhausting. Their schedule becomes full, their energy becomes limited, and their personal needs are pushed further and further aside. The reason behind this pattern is often the fear of disappointing others. Many people worry that saying no will make them appear rude, selfish, or unkind. They fear losing approval or damaging relationships, so they choose temporary comfort over honest boundaries. However, constantly saying yes to others can slowly lead to saying no to yourself. Each time you ignore your own limits, you sacrifice a small part of your well-being. Your time becomes controlled by other people's expectations instead of your own priorities. Choosing yourself requires courage, and one important part of that courage is learning how to set clear and healthy boundaries. Boundaries are not walls that push people away. They are guidelines that protect your energy, time, and emotional balance. Sometimes these boundaries may make others uncomfortable, especially if they were used to receiving your constant agreement. But that discomfort does not mean your boundaries are wrong. When you learn to say no to things that drain your energy, you begin creating space for things that strengthen you. You gain more time for your goals, your growth, your rest, and the activities that truly matter in your life. This balance allows you to show up in the world with greater clarity and strength. Healthy boundaries are not signs of selfishness. In reality, they are powerful expressions of self-respect. They show that you value your well-being and understand your limits. People who truly care about you will recognize and respect these boundaries, even if it takes time for them to adjust. They will appreciate your honesty and understand that your limits are part of maintaining a healthy relationship. On the other hand, some people may step away when they realize they can no longer take advantage of your constant yes. While this may feel uncomfortable at first, it is not necessarily a loss. Instead, it provides clarity about who respects you and who only benefited from your silence. Rule 5. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. Many people develop the habit of explaining every decision they make to the people around them. Whenever they choose a new direction in life, they feel the need to justify it. They explain their goals in detail, hoping others will understand and support them. They explain their lifestyle choices so that no one misunderstands them. They even explain their personal boundaries, trying to convince others that their decisions are reasonable. At first, this may seem like a normal and polite way to communicate. However, when this habit becomes constant, it can quietly weaken your confidence. When you feel the need to explain every choice you make, you may be unconsciously asking for permission to live your own life. The truth is that not everyone deserves an explanation for the path you choose. Some people will listen with understanding, while others will judge, criticize, or question your decisions no matter how clearly you explain them. If you spend too much energy trying to make everyone understand your life, you may become trapped in endless conversations that lead nowhere. Instead of focusing on your progress, you become focused on defending your choices. This can slowly drain your mental energy and create unnecessary stress. Choosing yourself means becoming comfortable with a quieter form of confidence. Quiet confidence does not require constant justification. It is the calm understanding that you know your values, your goals, and the direction you want your life to take. When you develop this mindset, you begin to realize that your choices do not need approval from everyone around you. Of course, there may be moments when explanation is necessary, especially with people who are close to you and genuinely care about your well-being. But you do not need to justify every step you take to the entire world. When you stop explaining yourself to everyone, you free your mind from the pressure of constant validation. Instead of talking endlessly about what you plan to do, you focus on actually doing it. Your actions begin to speak louder than your words. Over time, people will see the results of your decisions through the life you build. Some may still question your choices, but many will quietly respect the confidence behind them. Sometimes the most powerful message you can send is not through long explanations, but through consistent action. When you stay focused on your path and move forward with determination, your life itself becomes the explanation. And in many cases, that silent proof is stronger than any words you could ever say. Rule 6. Prioritize your inner peace. Peace of mind is one of the greatest forms of wealth a person can experience. While many people spend their lives chasing money, status, or recognition, they often overlook the quiet power of inner peace. A calm and stable mind allows you to think clearly, make better decisions, and live with a sense of balance. Without peace, even success can feel stressful and empty. Unfortunately, many people sacrifice their peace without realizing it. They remain in unhealthy relationships that constantly create emotional tension. They stay in environments filled with negativity, criticism, or pressure. Sometimes they allow unnecessary drama into their lives simply because they feel obligated to maintain certain connections. Over time, these situations slowly drain their emotional energy and make life feel heavier than it needs to be. Choosing yourself means learning to protect your inner world with greater awareness. Your mind and emotions are valuable, and they deserve care and respect. When you begin prioritizing your peace, you become more mindful about what you allow into your life. You start paying closer attention to the way certain people, situations, and environments affect your emotional state. Some interactions leave you feeling encouraged, calm, and motivated. Others may leave you feeling exhausted, anxious, or frustrated. Recognizing these differences is an important step toward protecting your well-being. As you grow in this awareness, you begin asking yourself simple but powerful questions. You may ask, does this situation bring peace or chaos into my life? Or does this relationship support my growth? Or does it slowly weaken my confidence? You may also question whether a particular environment helps you move forward or keeps you stuck in patterns that hold you back. These questions help you see your life more clearly and guide you toward healthier choices. It is important to understand that peace is not something you simply discover by chance. It is something you consciously protect through the decisions you make every day. Protecting your peace may require you to step away from unnecessary conflict, limit your exposure to negativity, or create stronger boundaries with certain people. These choices are not always easy, but they are essential for maintaining emotional balance. People who learn to protect their inner peace often build stronger and more fulfilling lives. Their minds remain clearer, their decisions become wiser, and their relationships become healthier. Instead of constantly reacting to stress and drama, they create a life where calmness and clarity guide their path forward. Rule 7. Invest in your personal growth. Choosing yourself is more than a mindset, it is a commitment to continuous growth. When you decide to put yourself first in this way, you accept that your life's progress depends on the effort you put into improving yourself. Personal growth is not always comfortable. In fact, it often pushes you beyond your comfort zone, challenges your habits, and tests your patience. It requires discipline to stick to your routines, persistence to continue when progress seems slow, and courage to face the obstacles that arise along the way. Growth is rarely instant, but the rewards of consistent investment in yourself are extraordinary. Each small improvement compounds over time, gradually transforming who you are and the life you live. Every new skill you learn increases your confidence. Whether it is a practical skill that helps you navigate the world or a mental skill that sharpens your thinking, each achievement reminds you that you are capable of more than you once believed. Every lesson you study broadens your understanding of life and helps you see possibilities where before there were limitations. Each challenge you overcome strengthens your character, teaching resilience, patience, and determination. These lessons build a foundation that no one can take away from you. They become part of your identity and your ability to navigate life successfully. People who truly choose themselves never stop learning. They understand that the process of growth is ongoing, and they actively seek opportunities to expand their knowledge and skills. They read books to gain new perspectives and insights. They observe successful individuals to understand habits, mindsets, and strategies that lead to achievement. They experiment with new ideas, trying approaches that may feel unfamiliar or even risky. Through this process, they gradually develop a stronger sense of self and an enhanced ability to make decisions that align with their values and goals. Growth may feel slow, but it is steady and powerful. Day by day, the person who invests in themselves becomes stronger, wiser, and more capable than they were yesterday. Ordinary lives are transformed when this commitment becomes a habit. What once felt impossible begins to feel achievable, and obstacles that seemed insurmountable now become stepping stones. Personal growth is the key to becoming the best version of yourself, unlocking opportunities, and creating a life of purpose, confidence, and fulfillment. By investing in yourself consistently, you are choosing a path that leads not only to achievement, but also to lasting satisfaction and empowerment. Rule 8. Let go of relationships that drain you. Not every relationship in life is meant to last forever. People come and go, and each person you meet serves a purpose in your journey. Some relationships are meant to support your growth, providing encouragement, love, and inspiration when you need it most. Others exist to teach you lessons, often through challenges, disagreements, or moments of discomfort. Both types of connections can be valuable, but it is crucial to recognize the difference between relationships that uplift you and those that drain you. Choosing yourself means learning to identify the relationships that harm your energy, your confidence, or your sense of self-worth. It requires honesty and courage to see when a connection no longer serves your well-being, and to take action accordingly. Many people struggle to let go of unhealthy relationships because they hope the other person will change, or because they fear the pain of separation. However, you cannot force anyone to grow or evolve if they are unwilling to do so. Trying to maintain a connection with someone who consistently disrespects your values, diminishes your confidence, or drains your emotional energy is a recipe for ongoing stress and frustration. While the idea of letting go may feel uncomfortable or even heartbreaking, holding on to relationships that are no longer healthy can be far more damaging in the long run. The energy you spend trying to maintain a toxic connection is energy that could instead be invested in yourself, your growth, and relationships that truly support and nurture you. Choosing yourself means placing value on your emotional well-being. It means understanding that walking away from certain people is not an act of selfishness, but an act of self-respect. When you release relationships that harm you, you create space for healthier connections to enter your life, connections that align with your values, encourage your growth, and allow you to flourish. It also allows you to focus on the relationship you have with yourself, which is the foundation for all other relationships. Sometimes the strongest and most courageous act is quietly walking away. You do not need to create drama or justify your decision endlessly. You simply honor your limits, protect your energy, and move forward with confidence. In doing so, you send a clear message to yourself and to others that your peace, your growth, and your happiness are non-negotiable. Choosing yourself in this way is a powerful declaration that your life matters and that you are committed to living it in alignment with your highest values. Rule 9. Trust your inner voice. Inside every person exists a quiet, guiding voice, one that is often subtle yet profoundly powerful. This voice is your intuition, your inner compass, gently whispering when something feels off or guiding you toward choices that align with your true self. It reminds you of your values, your desires, and the person you genuinely want to become. Yet, despite its importance, many people tend to ignore this voice. They allow the noise of the world, the opinions of others, or the pressure of expectations to drown it out. They follow the crowd, chase approval, and make decisions based on what they think they should do, rather than what feels right for them. They allow fear and doubt to override their instincts. Over time, ignoring this inner guidance can leave a person feeling lost, confused, or disconnected from their true purpose. Choosing yourself means learning to trust your inner wisdom, even when the world around you seems uncertain or loud. Your intuition is not random or meaningless. It is built from your experiences, your understanding of life, and your deeply held values. It reflects lessons you have learned over time, and the instincts your mind and heart have developed from facing challenges and making decisions. Trusting this voice requires slowing down, listening carefully, and paying attention to how your body and mind respond to situations. It is not always loud, and it may not always make sense at first glance, but it has a remarkable way of pointing you toward what is right for your life. When you begin to listen and act on your inner voice, you start noticing a powerful shift. You begin making decisions with more clarity and confidence. Opportunities that feel aligned with your purpose become clearer, and paths that once seemed uncertain now appear more straightforward. Often, your inner voice knows the correct direction long before your mind can explain why. It can sense danger, highlight possibilities, and guide you toward growth even when external circumstances seem confusing. Trusting your inner voice is a form of self-respect. It is a declaration that you value your own judgment and honor your own experience above the noise of doubt or criticism. By listening carefully, you strengthen your connection to yourself, make choices that reflect your authentic desires, and move forward in life with confidence. Choosing yourself means acknowledging that you are capable of navigating your journey and that your inner guidance is a compass you can always rely on. Trust it, follow it, and let it lead you toward the life you are meant to live. Rule 10. Forgive yourself for past mistakes. Many people struggle to truly choose themselves because they remain trapped in the past. They carry regrets, replay old mistakes over and over in their minds, and feel a deep sense of shame or guilt for decisions they made long ago. Every misstep, every failure, and every moment of poor judgment seems to linger like a shadow, reminding them that they are not enough or that they do not deserve happiness. This weight can become so heavy that it clouds the present and blocks the future. People who are stuck in this cycle often hesitate to make bold decisions, take risks, or pursue their dreams, fearing that they will repeat their past errors. Yet, this constant focus on what has already happened robs them of the energy, courage, and clarity needed to live fully in the present. The truth is, no human being lives without mistakes. Mistakes are not signs of weakness or failure. They are essential parts of life, learning, and growth. Every mistake you have made has given you insight, resilience, and understanding. They teach you what works and what does not, what to embrace and what to avoid. Choosing yourself requires recognizing this truth and practicing the powerful act of self-forgiveness. Self-forgiveness does not mean pretending mistakes never happened or excusing poor choices. It means acknowledging what went wrong, taking responsibility where necessary, learning from the experience, and then letting it go so it no longer controls your present or your future. When you forgive yourself, the weight of the past begins to lift. You start to see that the past is a teacher, not a prison. Each mistake becomes a lesson, a stepping stone, or a guidepost rather than a chain holding you back. You gain the freedom to move forward without constantly being pulled back by shame or regret. This freedom allows you to make decisions based on your current values and goals, instead of being dictated by fear of repeating errors. The moment you truly practice self-forgiveness, you begin to reclaim your energy and your life. The burden that once held you back no longer dictates your choices. You begin to approach life with renewed confidence, clarity, and determination. The future, which once seemed heavy and uncertain, suddenly feels lighter and full of potential. Forgiving yourself is not just an act of kindness, it is a critical step in choosing yourself. It allows you to move forward, embrace growth, and step fully into the person you are meant to become. Rule 11. Build self-respect through discipline. Confidence does not appear magically overnight. It is not something that can be borrowed from others or gained simply by wishing for it. True confidence grows quietly, steadily, and powerfully from consistent action. Every time you follow through on a commitment to yourself, no matter how small, you strengthen your self-respect. Discipline is the foundation of this process. It is the force that turns intentions into results and transforms dreams into reality. When you wake up early to work on your goals, complete tasks you promised yourself, or dedicate time to improve your skills, you are actively building a life rooted in self-respect and personal integrity. These small acts accumulate, shaping not just your actions but your identity. Choosing yourself requires developing habits that strengthen your character, even when it is uncomfortable. Discipline is rarely easy, especially in the beginning. It requires saying no to distractions, pushing past laziness, and continuing forward even when motivation is low. Progress may feel slow, and the results may not be immediately visible. Yet each consistent step creates a ripple effect, gradually increasing your capacity to handle challenges, make better decisions, and stay true to your priorities. Discipline teaches patience, perseverance, and self-control, all essential traits for anyone who wants to live life on their own terms. When you practice self-discipline, you also gain a sense of freedom that cannot be found elsewhere. While it may seem paradoxical, choosing structure over chaos actually expands your options. Disciplined people are masters of their own direction because they do not allow impulses, distractions, or external pressures to dictate their actions. They have trained themselves to act intentionally, to prioritize what matters, and to consistently work toward their long-term vision. This self-mastery builds not just confidence but also inner stability and trust in your own abilities. Ultimately, self-respect and discipline are inseparable. One cannot exist fully without the other. Every promise kept, every action taken in alignment with your values, and every challenge overcome with persistence strengthens your sense of self. Choosing yourself through discipline is not about perfection. It is about consistency, commitment, and the courage to honor your own potential. Over time, these habits transform your life, providing a foundation for confidence, resilience, and the freedom to live according to your highest aspirations. By cultivating discipline, you are actively building a life that commands respect, not just from others, but from yourself. Rule 12. Celebrate your progress. Many people spend their lives focusing on what they have not yet achieved, constantly measuring themselves against goals that feel far away. They compare their current reality with an ideal future and feel frustrated when they fall short. This focus on what is missing often blinds them to the truth. They have already made progress. Every small step, every lesson learned, and every moment of personal growth matters. Choosing yourself means learning to shift your attention from what is lacking to what has already been accomplished, and taking the time to celebrate those achievements, no matter how small they may seem. Celebrating progress is a form of self-respect. It is a way of acknowledging the effort you have invested in yourself, the consistency you have maintained, and the challenges you have overcome. Every time you move forward, even just a little, you are building the foundation for larger successes in the future. Each improvement, whether it is mastering a new skill, maintaining a positive habit, or handling a difficult situation with grace, deserves recognition. By celebrating these moments, you reinforce the value of your effort and remind yourself that growth is happening, even if it feels slow or invisible. When you acknowledge your progress, you also build motivation. Seeing evidence of your own development ignites a sense of accomplishment and confidence that propels you forward. Momentum grows naturally from these small victories. One small win leads to another, and before long, the accumulation of these successes creates real transformation. Progress does not always have to be dramatic or sudden. Consistent, small improvements often lead to the most lasting change. Choosing yourself means giving yourself permission to celebrate. It means pausing to recognize that the journey itself is valuable, not just the end goal. It is a reminder that growth is not only about achieving milestones, but also about appreciating the steps you take along the way. By celebrating your progress, you cultivate a positive mindset that encourages persistence, resilience, and joy in the process of self-improvement. The act of recognizing your achievements, however minor, reinforces the belief that your efforts matter. It teaches your mind to focus on what is working, rather than dwelling on what is missing. Over time, this perspective transforms your journey. You begin to enjoy the process of becoming a stronger, wiser, and more capable version of yourself. Celebrating progress is not just a reward, it is a strategy for sustaining growth, maintaining momentum, and honoring the path you are creating for yourself. Rule 13. Become the main character of your life. Perhaps the most powerful shift in choosing yourself happens when you realize a simple yet profound truth. You are not a background character in someone else's story. For too long, many people allow their lives to be shaped by the expectations, opinions, and priorities of others. They follow the paths that others have set, pursue dreams that do not belong to them, and live in ways that feel comfortable to those around them. Yet, deep down, there is a voice inside urging them to step forward, take control, and claim the life they were meant to live. That moment of awareness, the moment you understand that you are the main character of your own life, is transformative. It changes the way you think, make decisions, and approach every opportunity. Being the main character means recognizing that your dreams, your growth, and your happiness matter just as much as anyone else's. Your desires are valid, and your vision for your life deserves attention, focus, and action. Choosing yourself involves designing a life that reflects your values, aligns with your purpose, and honors your deepest aspirations. It is about being intentional with your time, energy, and resources, instead of drifting passively through life reacting to external pressures or following paths that were chosen for you. When you step into this role, you take full responsibility for the story you are writing. Taking the lead in your own life also means stopping the habit of seeking permission to live fully. You do not need external validation to pursue your goals or to create a life that feels meaningful to you. You begin to make decisions based on your own priorities, rather than waiting for approval from others. This confidence opens doors to opportunities that align with your vision and allows you to move forward with clarity and purpose. You stop comparing yourself to supporting characters in other people's stories and start focusing on your own narrative, one that you control and shape intentionally. Becoming the main character is not about ego or selfishness. It is about authenticity and courage. It is about choosing to live a life that truly belongs to you. When you embrace this mindset, you begin creating the life you genuinely want, where your actions, choices, and energy all contribute to your personal story of growth, fulfillment, and joy. You step into a role where your life matters, your goals matter, and your happiness matters. And from this place, everything becomes possible. Choosing yourself finally means taking center stage and writing your own extraordinary story. Conclusion: the courage to choose yourself. Choosing yourself is not a one-time decision. It is a lifelong practice, a series of choices you make every single day. Life constantly presents moments that test your courage, patience, and self-respect. You are faced with questions like, will you follow fear or courage? Will you seek approval or authenticity? Will you sacrifice your peace for others or protect it at all costs? These small decisions may seem insignificant in the moment, but over time they shape the life you live, the person you become, and the path you leave behind. The people who live the most meaningful and fulfilling lives are not always the richest, the most famous, or the most recognized. They are often the ones who had the courage to honor their true selves, even when it was uncomfortable, unpopular, or difficult. They learned to respect their time, protect their peace, trust their inner voice, and build a life that aligns with their values and purpose. On English Achieve, we explore these principles because understanding and practicing them can transform ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. Choosing yourself is the foundation of confidence, authenticity, and personal freedom. When you begin choosing yourself, something remarkable happens. You do not become selfish, as many fear. Instead, you become stronger, clearer, and more authentic. Your actions become intentional, your decisions become aligned with your values, and your relationships naturally improve because you now attract people who respect and support the real you. Your future becomes brighter, filled with opportunities you once thought were out of reach, and your journey becomes one of purpose rather than obligation. So remember this simple yet powerful truth. The world may influence your circumstances, your emotions, and even your opportunities, but only you can choose the direction of your life. Only you can take the steps to honor your dreams, protect your energy, and live in alignment with who you truly are. When you finally choose yourself, you unlock the real power of your life, and everything else begins to fall into place naturally.